Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, the one and only Hosting Cruz, bringing you another exciting edition of boxing. Don't forget to hit and to like, subscribe to my channel. It's always greatly appreciated. Stay tuned. Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Hosting Cruz, and guys, a mouth-watering clash is on hand, is on the horizon for next year, early next year, likely in 2026. Between two former world champions, former unified 147-pound champion Errol the Truth Spence Jr., 28-1, 22 knockouts, versus Jermell Charlo, former undisputed champion at 154 pounds, 35 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, 19 knockouts. Both proud Texans, Errol Spence out of Dallas, Texas, Jermell Charlo out of Houston, Texas. Both of these fighters have common things, man. Both guys were former sparring partners, former teammates. Of course, both were trained under the same trainer, under Derek James, one of the best trainers in the sport of boxing currently. I was honored to have met Derek James in person, took a picture with him, very nice person. And yeah, man, he welcomed me with open arms and we took that picture. But tremendous trainer, and he guided Errol Spence Jr. and Jermell Charlo to world titles, and both guys claiming pound for pound status before both guys took their losses in their last fight. So yeah, man, common things, man. Sharing the same trainer. They both shared the same trainer. And I said shared because it seems to me that both guys are looking to fight each other next year, and it's obvious both guys can't fight each other with the same trainers, so someone has left Derek James, and I want to believe it's Jermell Charlo. I think Errol Spence is still with Derek James, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Jermell Charlo put it out there saying that fight date and announcement is coming soon. There's no friends in this business. So, and based on what I'm saying, but based on what I'm reading, Jermell Charlo was the one that called out Errol Spence for a fight. And if you ask me, this will be a tremendous fight. I mean, Jermell Charlo has been fighting at 154 for quite some time. He was the undisputed champion there. And Errol Spence, the heaviest he's fought was 147. Now, there have been talks and rumored that Errol Spence have been thinking about going up to 154 for quite some time. As a matter of fact, his rematch with Terrence Crawford, which was on the contract, was supposed to happen at 154. But truth be told, we're here 2 years later since Errol Spence's last fight against Terrence Crawford, where he took a bad beating, savage beating, to Crawford back in 2023. Now this fight is looking to happen in 2026, early next year. So by the time Errol Spence gets back in there, it'll be, man, almost 3 years out. Jermell Charlo hasn't fought since 2023, so same thing here. By the time they fight, it's going to be almost 3 years out, both of them. In terms of inactivity, it's basically even, 50-50. And Jermell Charlo, last time out, he fought Canelo Alvarez, and he took a beating as well. Of course, Errol Spence took the worst beating. Took a worse beating than Jermell, but on paper is a tremendous fight. Stylistically, it's a tremendous fight. Both guys aren't there to be cute. They come to fight. They got power in both hands. Excellent boxer punchers. Both guys have shown in their past fights that they like to mix it up. Errol Spence always been tremendous come forward fighter, volume puncher, hard puncher. Jermell Charlo in his fights with Brian Castano and Tony Harrison, he's shown that he can go to war and hell and back in those fights and won. those fights by stoppage until his last fight, just like Errol Spence, until his last fight, where both guys took a beating in their last fight. Now, the question is, in this fight, how will Errol Spence Jr. respond, and how will Jermell Charlo respond? Because it's not like both guys are coming in with victories. They're coming in with losses that happened 2.5 years ago. You know, so that's the intriguing part in this fight. When that bell rings, how will both guys respond? When both guys start throwing and start hitting each other. You know, both guys prior to their losses were pound for pound fighters. You know, level. So when both guys used to be under the same trainer, they sparred each other, a lot of sparring to get themselves ready for their fights. Proud Texans. Both guys have seen better days. You know, both guys are 35 years old. Like I said, both their best days are behind them for sure. But it doesn't mean it's over. And this is the must-win fight for both guys, because both guys, neither of these two can afford a loss here. Both guys are coming into this fight with a loss. In devastating fashion, both guys got beat up in their losses. So this is the fight between two fighters coming from a beatdown, and it's interesting to see how these two guys respond. So I'm looking forward to it. I've always been a fan of Errol Spence. Not too much of Jermell Charlo, but of course I've got respect for him. He's a tremendous fighter. Like I said, Jermell has always campaigned for quite some time at 154. This will be Errol Spence Jr. first time at 154. That's another thing. First fight at 154 and first fight in 2.5 years, coming from a savage beating from Crawford. So intriguing stuff here, man. But I can see both guys coming forward, going at it, vicious exchanges. It should be a fun fight. Will it go the distance? Maybe, maybe not. Because these two guys have what it takes to finish fights. You know, they finished fights in the past. You know, they both shown fight ending power, and they both shown that they can get guys out of there. They know each other a lot from plenty sparring sessions, and it's a fight that I'm looking forward to. Errol Spence Jr. versus Jermell Charlo at 154 pounds. Jermell Charlo calling out Errol Spence, and it's a battle of Texans in this one. Both guys know the importance of this fight. The winner goes on to bigger and better things, and the career continues, and the loser, well, have to rethink on their career, have to rethink on their future for sure. But it'll be interesting to see how these two guys respond after that first punch lands, you know. And so yeah, let me know what you guys think about this fight, ladies and gentlemen. Errol Spence Jr. versus Jermell Charlo, a battle of Texans, former world champions, former unified and undisputed world champions. Both guys were guided under the tutelage of Derek James. Both guys, former sparring partners. Both guys, age 35. Both guys have seen better days. So let's see what happens when that bell rings next year in 2026. We don't have a date. We don't have a venue. We don't have when this fight's going to happen yet. But it's in the talks, it's in the works, to being done for early next year. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this fight. Errol Spence Jr. versus Jermell Charlo. Miracle Boy Boxing. I'm your host, Austin Cruz. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It is always a pleasure to talk to you guys about boxing. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.